things. What does I hold? Jeremiah 50, verse 6. Let me just be with y'all 1 second, Israel. Type your questions in. Jeremiah could be here shortly. Just gotta put the attendance in the class. All right, Most High. Christ. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Thumb, Yahweh Shema Thumb Bashem Yahshua. Priest and officer 1,000 Yadai. I'm holding it down till the 12 Shield General Mayaka Allah gets here. Understand something. As Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, now is the time to come out of the world. Now was the time to come out of Christianity, to come out of Islam. A lot of y'all just got done celebrating y'all Easter Sunday. And you know what I never understood, Quatazah, about the Christian church? If Christ died on Friday and y'all say 3 days later he was risen, why do you celebrate that? And can you count? Wouldn't he have risen on Monday, Officer Dariala, sir? Right. It'd be Monday. But y'all have Easter Sunday where y'all put on your Sunday best. Y'all put on your Sunday best. You know what? Them same outfits that y'all was wearing, you know what I mean, on Easter Sunday. I know y'all was in the club, you know what I mean, the previous night. I know what y'all was doing. I know. It's all right. Your grandmas was out there too. Yeah, I mean, y'all grandmas may not have been out there, you know what I mean, that time. They was out there in something called Freaknik Akim in the 90s. The sad thing is, right, it's garbage. Christianity in itself, Islam, you know what I mean, Buddhism. We're going to talk about that Buddhism too. The Dalai Lama, you know what I mean, apologized for kissing a young little Moabite boy in the mouth and didn't ask the little Moabite boy, you know what I mean, to give more tongue with them. Goddamn. These heathens are disgusting, man. And that's why we have to stop following after them. Stop following after their Easter, following after their Thanksgiving, their Christmas, you know what I mean, the birthdays, you know what I mean, the gods of our enemies. We got to cut that out and separate from them. And separation is a great thing. Separation is key because when we separate ourselves from them, guess what? Now we have that opportunity to come back to our God. We've done it before, but we were separate, but we wasn't serving the Most High. We did it with Black Wall Street. We did it, you know what I mean, in Rosewood, you know, in many of the other Black or Latino cities that we had. But if we truly are to separate the right way, you got to come up in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohanan. I'm going to show you that in the Bible. I mean, Leviticus 20 and verse 26. Bubble for sure.
God. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
Lord said, ye shall be holy unto me. First of all, the word holy means to be separate, set apart. Holy is not your mama or your auntie with that crazy looking feathered hat on in church. No. Holy means to be separate. That's what it means. Set apart. It ain't your pastor with the white robe and gown on. You know who else is not holy in the Bible? The damn Dalai Lama. He ain't holy neither. He's no different. He's the Chinese Pope, Daniela. That's what he is. The Chinese version of the Pope. That's what I'm going to call him. All of that is garbage, man. we are holy as blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. We have to understand that we are a holy people, separate. Keep reading.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. Oh, wait a minute, Quatazar. Wait a minute, Matham. If God is holy, if the Most High is holy, you know what I mean? He's saying we're holy. If we're holy unto him, meaning we're separate unto our God. That's what we have to realize. This ain't for everybody. It's not. Like, we have no business. And like another thing too that I'm gonna touch on that I touched on yesterday. Another thing too that I'm seeing, and not just with the Easter and the Christianity, I'm seeing y'all Muslims out there struggling too. Yeah, they struggling out there quite as hard with their Ramadan. Yeah, listen, I've been looking at the brothers at the slave down, y'all like Ali, you all right? Mustafa, you good? They look like they're about to pass out on that magic carpet, man. I'm trying to tell you. Our God told us that we are a separate people, separate unto the Most High. That's how we have to be. It says that you shall be holy unto me, meaning we're separate unto our God. He ain't everybody's father. Even Christ said it. He said, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Shalom, Lord Christ. Huh? He ain't everybody's father. He's our Father. And we're going to get to it. Keep reading with them.
And have severed you from other people.
And have severed you from other people. Meaning this, man, if I sever my arm, you know what I mean, from my body, it's no longer attached. Meaning our God severed us from the oppressor, severed us, you know what I mean, from these other heathens, severed us from the Dalai Lama, Bakari, kissing kids on the mouth. I'm like, God damn, he must go to that. Him and the Pope must frequent the same places. Goes to show you, man, why all of these different religions is garbage. All of these different religions that they want us to follow and be under, we got to come out of that, man. We got to be holy unto our God, separate. Keep reading. Go ahead, Bakari, y'all.
I'll just say, it's like I seen that video. It's like the demon just came out of him. He couldn't hold it. You know, it exposed itself. You can't recover from that.
Let me explain something to you. I have no sympathy for no heathens at all. But that shit, but coming from a black nationalist, that shit was foul. That was wrong, man. That was wrong. And you know what? In Christ's kingdom, they don't have to worry about that. Because in Christ's kingdom, guess what? There ain't gonna be no pedophilia. You know, Moabites ain't gonna be touching, you know what I mean, their children or kids in general. Esau ain't gonna be doing none of that neither. Because a righteous king, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, is going to reign over the entire earth. And 144,000, you know what I mean, strong brothers in the ISUPK are gonna reign under him to make sure. The scripture says this, man. Now, as a matter of fact, let's get it. Quantazar, give me where it says, when the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice, and when the people, I mean, when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Because everybody's mourning right now because the oppressor's in charge. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show you, and it really shouldn't be surprising. It shouldn't be. Because what the Dalai Lama did to that little boy, that happened to our kids. It happens to our children in the Christian church. It happened on Easter Sunday. It happened on Easter Sunday. You let your kids go to that church, you know what I mean, and run around in that garden, you know what I mean, would Reverend dick them down or get them while they're young, presiding over it, letting your kids go out there and chase, you know what I mean, and catch Easter eggs. Some of the Easter bunny laid this. Bunnies don't lay eggs, man. The history behind Easter is this, that Easter comes from a Babylonian goddess, Ishtar, you know what I mean, the goddess of fertility. And let me tell you something, man. It's always something that a lot of that stuff always goes back to Babylon, because America is spiritually Babylon, man, the great whore. America is Babylon. America is Egypt and Sodom on steroids. And that's why we got to separate from it, man. We got to separate from it. You letting your kids go to that church and let the pastor have their way with them, man. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame. And that's why we got to come out of the Christian church and come out of the Muslim mosque, because these are the things that go on. The difference is back then it went on behind closed doors. They ain't the door. The curtains is open now, quite the time. The blinds is up. You got what I asked for, quite the time. We coming back to this, my son.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, The people rejoice.
Man, everybody is going to rejoice. When Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Jesus Christ, a black man like you and me, when he reigns over the entire earth. I pray you understand that. I pray you understand. The entire earth is going to rejoice because we are not going to abuse everybody the way the oppressor is abusing everybody. Don't get me wrong. These other nations are going to have to go. They're going to have to die for what they did to us. And they're going to have to go into captivity. But goddamn, that ain't going to be like what they did to us. We ain't going to be abusing them sexually. We ain't going to be, just out there doing whatever to them. We ain't going to be out there just killing them for the hell of it. Nah, I like that. They're going to have to pay for their punishments, though. But guess what? The abuse that they put us through? No, because we're righteous black men, Latino men, First Nation men. The entire earth is going to rejoice, you know what I mean, when Jacob rules again. You know what I mean? Our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach presides over this entire earth in all of it. And 144,000 righteous brothers reign under him. Everybody's going to rejoice for it. I pray you understand that. Keep reading.
But when the wicked bear rule.
But when the wicked bear rule, ooh-wee. When the wicked is in charge, what happens when the wicked is in charge? Kids get molested.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kids get molested when the wicked is in charge. They tell our kids, they tell our boys that it's all right to be a little girl. That's how you know the wicked is in charge. They encourage Dwayne Wade to allow his son to be a little girl. And I said what I said, his son to be a little girl. Right. They promote that behavior. They promote homosexuality. They tell us that pork is the other white meat. You know what I mean? That's how you know the wicked is bear rule. But when the wicked bear rule, keep reading.
The people mourn.
Everybody is mourning because the oppressor is in charge. And he made it popular. He made it popular. Would you see that what the Dalai Lama doing, you know what I mean, with those kids, or you see what the Pope is doing with them kids, it all stems back to Rome. It all stems back to Greece, and it stems back to Babylon. It stems back to just the nature of the oppressor and these heathens. And especially Esau, he's naturally wicked. He was wicked from the beginning. Like, you know how them homosexuals say, I was born this way? That's Esau. Esau was born that way. He was born profane and wicked. Yeah, he was always like that. And the Lord saw that. The point is, when we rule, these things ain't going to be going on. I pray you understand that. I pray you understand. And you have the opportunity right now to get right and to not squander the little time that we have, because we have a little bit of time, Matha. We ain't got that much time. It's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And you still want to get high? You still want to celebrate Easter? Like, are you a kid? Are you a kid? That's a child's mindset. You know what I mean? I look at, Bakariala, what's going on in Philly. Like with the youth, these kids is out of control. You sit back and say, damn, you know what I mean? Where are y'all parents at? Y'all downtown rioting, y'all down by the Sugar House, you know what I mean? Terrorizing the city. And it's like, God damn, man. Like, there is no solution to the problem except for the ISUPK under command of General Yohana. Give them young brothers to us and let them watch what happens to you. We're going to have them brothers in all black. They ain't going to be outside terrorizing everybody. And this is what goes on, man, in this kingdom, because it's what they promote. That's why our God told us in Leviticus 20 and verse 26 that we have to be separate. The Lord severed us from other people. Read from where you were, Matham. Read that again.
That ye should be mine.
That ye should be mine, because we belong to the Most High. And belonging to the Most High, we got to separate from certain things, man. We got to separate from Easter. You got to let it go. Like, and I get it. A lot of our people, you know what I mean, you want to equate, you know what I mean, some of your best memories to when you was around your family on holidays. I get all that. But you also blot out all the trauma that happened. It was just, you always talk about the good, but it was equally enough bad or more. That's why you got to let it go. That's why you have to let it go. You come up in here, man, we just got done celebrating the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And guess what happened? Something amazing happened. All throughout the earth where the ISUPK is. Blacks and Latinos got together and we didn't kill each other. Wasn't no weed smoking. Wasn't no twerking. Like, we had the black party, you know what I mean, Quattazah, you know what I mean, in Raleigh, North Carolina, and had the Passover. And guess what? We did that without no incident. You know the incidents that went on in Raleigh, North Carolina while they was watching us? over there at Dreamville and how the bank got robbed, but you looking at us. We're the solution to the crime in America, man, that involves all blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Because the brothers you see in here are reformed drug dealers, reformed murderers, reformed liars. Same thing with the sisters. And that's what y'all got to understand. You can truly change your life by coming up in this body. Like, and I get it. I sit back, all them niggas is in a cult. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't do it. You in the real cult. You telling your kids that rabbits lay eggs. You in the real one. You giving all your money to a pastor that's been complaining about the lights. Now, let me tell you something. The lights ain't never getting cut off in the church. As long as your pastor has breath, it is not going to happen. You know how it is going to happen, though? By you coming out of that church and coming up in here. That's when the lights finally get cut off, and they need to. That's the important thing. By putting your stock in these other nations, they have been able to destroy us. Why? Because we've been stiff-necked. Give me Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 6, Quatazar Karab. Koyalaho Amos, the 5th chapter and the 21st verse.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 6.
Go ahead.
My people have been lost sheep.
My people have been lost sheep. Why are we? Ask yourself this. Why are we being equated to sheep? Sheep require a shepherd. Sheep require a shepherd, man. And Christ is that good shepherd. Like the ISUPK is of Christ. It is of our King. And we have to understand, man. The important thing is we've been lost sheep. You a lost sheep in that church. You for sure a lost sheep in that Muslim mosque. You out there bowing your face down in that carpet, you know what I mean, dying this time of month, you know what I mean, because you're not eating for half the day. Like, Danielle, are they losing their minds looking all drooly and weak in the face because they ain't eating for a couple hours? That's why Christ called them hypocrites, man. Like Christ said, when you fast, don't be of a sad countenance. You know what I mean? Soldier through it. Like when we soldier through the Day of Atonement, don't nobody know but us and the Most High. That's between us and the Most High and our King. The important thing to realize, man, we can't continue to be lost sheep. Because right now in the world, they celebrating New Year's, Christmas, Easter. What's the next one? Memorial Day? 4th of July. A lot of you niggas is getting ready to come outside with them 4th of July get-ups on, man. Y'all gonna be wearing the whole American flag in your outfit, which is bananas to me. Because the American flag is the main symbol of Babylon, of America. Like of our oppression. You are not an American. That's why we lost sheep. Keep reading.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Who are the shepherds? T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Geno Jennings, causing us to go astray because they don't know the Bible or understand it. You know what your pastor understands? Money. Same thing with Farrakhan. I know y'all love Farrakhan, right? He understands money very well. He realized that the nation wasn't doing so well. So he was like, I had an epiphany. I could get money from Ron L. Hubbard. It's Dianetics. And now when you go on the Nation of Islam, you got pictures of Ron L. Hubbard in there. Like, goddamn. Like, they made a deal with Scientology. Goes to show you, man, we have been lost sheep, and our shepherds have led us astray. Not understanding, man, like we not understanding that we are the real children of Israel. Every Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, we are the Jews of antiquity. That's our nationality. That's who we are. And we got to come back to that. Keep reading.
Come on. They have turned them away on the mountain.
That's so heavy. They turned us away on the mountain. Do you know what that means when it says we were turned away on the mountain? We were turned away from our mountain, Zion, Israel. We don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments no more, man. Like we just got done celebrating the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know, when we came out of Egypt, like to put it in the most niggas of terms, like Moses got down and was like, yo, Akim, Aquafim, we out. We didn't have time to let that bread rise, man. We had to eat that unleavened bread as it was. And we remember that. Now we've been turned away from the mountain. Like turned away, you know what I mean, from our God, our King, our land, who we are as Israelites. You ask 10, go out there and ask 50 brothers. Ask them which they, or 50 brothers and sisters. Ask them what their nationality is. You'll be shocked. You might get a church denomination. You might get African American, Negro, colored, Puerto Rican, Mexican. We ain't none of that. We are none of that because we've been turned away from our mountain. They turned us away from following our God. Keep going.
They have gone from mountain to hill.
We've gone from mountain to hill. You know what the hills? The hills of North America. That's where we gone. We ran to the hills to follow after the other nations. We did that. And what did we get out of it? To have our kids catch bunnies in some pedophile pastor's garden out back of his church, eating pork, crab, and lobster. Y'all, it's disgusting. Like that was the deal. Imagine it like this. We had everything. Imagine having everything you would ever want. But then you see somebody else with something, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's interesting. But you're not realizing that thing that they have could destroy you and take away what you have because they want what we have. Our God even said, if these other nations, if he'd have chose them, they'd be serving him right now. If God chose the Asians, the Dalai Lama wouldn't be doing that. If God chose Moab, you know what I mean, and Ammon, they wouldn't be doing that. But he chose us. And we are stiff-necked people. We got to cut that out, man. We got to understand something. We can't continue to live like these heathens. The proof of the pudding should be this. Every time we try to live like these heathens, we fail. Like you often wonder, why can't I make it ahead in life? You'll say, I talked to a sister that was saying like how successful she was, the money she makes, the nice job, you know what I mean, nice car, nice crib, but she's depressed because she ain't got no good brother. I'm like, well, damn, that's a rough one, sis. But with the thinking, and then you got some brothers that go through the same thing. You got everything, but you don't got a good sister. Or the more important thing is you're not following our God. And all that you may have can be taken away from you. Or you can have all those things and still be miserable. That's why when you look at certain entertainers, you should not look at them and envy them and say, damn, man, I wish I had their money. I had this. If I had their influence. Don't do that. Don't put yourselves in their shoes. And I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't. Because quite as if you had LeBron's money, you would do a whole lot more. Right. Bakari, if you had, you know what I mean, Kyrie's money and resources, you would do a lot more for our people. Because y'all are righteous men. Alawat Panya, Barak, Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shah Brakatah. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the class off to priest and 12 show General Mayaka Al.
Big time dictionary.
Come.
Grab that. Get your die another hand, holding it down. You know, like he was bringing out, you know, we done been led astray from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the heathens are able to keep their control. The white man ain't smarter than us. Our enemies ain't smarter. They ain't better. They ain't stronger. You understand? We sinned against our God. And so when our God turned his back on you, we're powerless. We can't beat nobody when the Most High turned his back on us. You understand? We're powerless. And so now we got to fight. You know what I'm saying? Now things are much difficult. Just let me know once you got it, you die. If you don't have a big one, I'll settle for the small one if you don't have a big one. Come on. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna read a little bit first. I'm gonna go into Easter, and then I'm gonna go into sacrificing, because like Yediah bringing out, in the world, you know, it's a deal that the heathens gave us. The Satan gave them to give us. The deal is we can live a life of lust and fun and just fulfilling the flesh and doing whatever we want, and we'll have a ball. It's fun to get high. Y'all know that, right? It is fun to get high. It's fun to run through whores. It's fun to sin. Sin is fun in America, but there is a price to pay. Like Yediah said, you know, once you get into that sin and you enjoying this world with America, enjoying this world with people in the world, your life don't seem to get better. Your life doesn't go far. You suffer things, losses. The Lord is against you. And most times you don't even know. You're out there trying to scrape and you think you got problems and, oh, man, what do? You go listen to Steve Harvey. You go buy one of his books, How to Be Successful, how to other people's on how to be successful. And you keep trying and trying and trying, and you may get some acting job, you may get famous, you may get that contract, or you may get the thing you're striving for, and you find out it ain't as sweet as you thought it was. A lot of times you got to do a lot of homosexuality to get that part, to get this part, and some ice if we got it. You know what I'm saying? To get these things in America, you got to do certain things that ain't so masculine. You understand? It ain't so righteous. The brother getting it for me now. I need some ice with it. You understand? Get Easter. You got the Bible dictionary, right? I'm gonna get Easter in the Bible dictionary because I'm gonna start with that. Just due to my time, I'm gonna go through Easter real quick, and then I'm gonna get into some other things. Slocky, let me put this on silent. This the sister been calling my phone for 15 years. She's sick though. She's sick, but she calls. Sometimes she just go into a rant on how she's Vashti in the Bible or Esther. Or sometimes she just call and want to and just open and cuss me the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Be a full cuss out. She leave messages cussing me the hell out. You know what I'm saying? So you got that, you die? Okay, no, sir. So we gonna get to Easter. First of all, what is Easter? What we grew up learning about Easter? What did we learn about Easter growing up? Either one of you. Mighty man first.
You get fresh on that. I guess we dress up on that day.
Get dressed up. And what's that for? You're dressing up. Mighty man?
I don't know, I just remember growing up, just finding eggs around the streets and bushes and things like that. So I remember.
Finding what?
Finding eggs around the trees or bushes, on the bushes.
Come. And what do the eggs got to do with Christ or, Easter, the resurrection? That's what Easter's supposed to be about. They say Easter, let me read a little brief. It says in some denominations, I'm going to come back to the definition. I'm going to get it started too, in some denominations of Protestant Christianity, y'all know the Protestants, they was fighting against the Catholic Church. They had disagreements about certain things, so formed their own church. And with the Protestants, right, Easter Sunday marks the beginning of Eastertide or the Easter season. Eastertide ends on the 50th day after Easter, which is known as Pentecost. Now, somebody, where's Easter in the Bible? Acts, I think, 12:4. Get that for me real quick. Anybody? Read that first. The word Easter is in the Bible. But as we know, the Bible has been translated. Whoever got it, read it.
Acts chapter 12, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaestorians
Go ahead.
of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
And is this talking about Paul or are they talking about Christ? We got to read up. But after, and it said intending what?
Intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
So they locked him up. I believe it's Paul. I believe they locked him up so that after Easter they were going to come out and bring charges on him. Because once again, our people were so holy, like the pastors today walk around with their Bibles and act like they so holy. Meanwhile, doing all types of evil. So they didn't want to defile Easter, which was the Sabbath, and we'll read about that in a second. So after Easter, they was going to bring him before the people, try to charge him, and do all type of things. Read Easter in the Bible dictionary, you die.
Sir. This is the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 230. Easter, Pesach, Passover.
So Pesach, which we say Pesach, the Hebrew, and the Greeks, it says what? Say that Greek word again.
Pesach.
Pesach in the Greek. which means what? It says
Passover.
Passover. Tells you what it means. Easter in the Hebrew is written Pesach. In the Greek is Pascal or something like that, which means Passover. Read.
Rendered Easter in Acts 12:4 in the KJV, but correctly translated Passover.
You see that? Correctly translated as Passover. Now you show grandma this, she ain't gonna want to hear you. She gonna think you the devil when you ruin her Easter for her. You show her the Bible, the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Say, grandma, it say Easter is talking about Passover. That's what it's supposed to be. Read.
Sir. There is no.
Listen close. Go ahead.
The day on which the church celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
So this is the day where Christians, modern day Christians, they celebrate the rising of Jesus Christ when he rose from the grave, the resurrection. So they call it Easter, and they know Christ rose on Sunday morning. So they make Easter on a certain Sunday of the year. Go ahead,
A lot of Christians say that's the day when they changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday, or the seventh day to the first day.
That's why they did it. But where'd they get that from? Did God say to do that? They do things on their own. What you gonna see? Go ahead.
Sir. There is no celebration.
Listen close. There's no celebration. Go ahead.
Of the resurrection in the New Testament.
There's no celebration of the resurrection in the New Testament. So they shouldn't have changed the Sabbath to Sunday. There shouldn't even be an Easter Sunday celebrating the resurrection, because there's no celebration of Christ's rising from the dead in the New Testament. And that's what Christians are supposed to follow, right? They say the old laws is done away with. It's gone, baby. And they follow the Jesus in the New Testament. The New Testament don't tell them to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. It don't tell them to do that. Read on, you die.
The Jewish Christians linked it with the Passover, and so observed it on the 14th day.
Is that the very next line? Go ahead. Keep reading.
Linked it with the Passover, and so observed it on the 14th day of Nisan, regardless of the day of the week. But Gentile believers celebrate.
So I think that was the point. The point is, Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ, yet nowhere in the New Testament it says to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. Right there in the Bible dictionary. Go ahead, you die. Go ahead.
It says the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, which ruled that Easter should be celebrated on the first Sunday after the full moon following the vernal equinox.
So they come together. Christians came together since its inception and created a holiday. They created their own holiday. That's why the Bible said Peter told them we ought to obey God rather than man, because man will make up any goddamn thing. That's why the church got so many customs that the church people, their members, actually think those are laws. Some of them things that Christians push. I ain't never been in church, but I've been around Christians a lot. I forget a lot of them, but I know a lot of things they say, a lot of their quotes. They'll say it like it's in the Bible, but when you test them to prove it, I'll find it. Let me find it. I'll get back to you. I know it's in there somewhere where they misunderstanding a scripture, or some pastor told them quoting scriptures and telling them what it means, and they get it in their mind that this is God. You know what I'm saying? This is the word of God, but it's not. Now read Ishtar. You die in that Bible dictionary, ISHTAR. We in the same Zondervan Bible dictionary. I just want to get Ishtar. Sounds real close to Easter, right? And actually, the correct pronunciation of Ishtar is Easter. We pronounce, ISH. We pronounce it Ishtar, but the correct pronunciation is Easter, spelled ISHTAR. You understand? We're going to read that first. And somebody get me Leviticus 23:6.
This is the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, page 387.
Okay.
Ishtar, a Semitic goddess worshipped in Phoenicia.
Now, Ishtar is a Semitic goddess. You said worship what?
Worship in Phoenicia.
Worship in Phoenicia. Remember the Greek woman that was in Syro-Phoenicia, the land of Phoenicia? So all across them lands, this goddess was worshipped. Now, what's the number one commandment of the Most High? What's his number one commandment? Mighty man, I think you was first. Go ahead. La'ah. Mighty man.
Don't be no other God before you.
Have no gods before me. That's first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Don't worship nothing before me. We don't even worship Yahushua. Yahushua is not our God. He's our mighty king. And what's the difference between our king and the heathen's king and everybody else's king? Who could tell me that? You thinking if you could tell me this? What's the difference between our king? What makes our king much more glorious than their kings? Mighty in the back? That's a good one, but that ain't the what makes him worthy. Not even him dying on the cross, having the kingdom and all that. But what just as the man he is, what makes him better than the other kings? I'll give you one more shot before I go to this brother. He what? He's righteous. Go ahead. That ain't what I'm looking for. Go ahead.
He lived without sin.
All of y'all are correct on what he's doing. Go ahead. He obeyed the Father, but how could I ask it right? What would make us, that's all correct, but what would make us want to follow, even if we wasn't trying to be righteous or unrighteous, what would make him worthy and make a man want to be down with him and follow him rather than the king of America, the king of Russia, the men that's in charge of these countries and empires in the world? Get it, brother, one more shot.
I'm saying because he died and sacrificed himself for his people.
That's a good one. Go ahead.
Because Christ is a just man.
He's a just man. All of y'all correct. I don't know how to ask the question in the right way. But he's a king. What is George Bush go to war or Trump, Biden, any of them? When they go to war, what do? Let's say the enemy's coming against America. What do? In the back? They send them troops to fight for them. Now you want the way you said that, I think you got it now. But who else wanna shit? So what makes Christ a different type of king? He on the front line. He on the front line. Like he ain't sending us to go die for him. He lead the charge. You understand? He lead the angels. You understand? He's a killer and a man worthy to be followed. You understand? Because he ain't going to send you to go handle some business for him. You understand? He going to show you how it's done. You know what I'm saying? Now after he wash off all the blood, and after the war over, the next war, he might have you handle it the way he handled it. You know what I'm saying? But he's on the front line. You understand? He gave it all for us. You understand? You got that, what did I call him? Ishtar or?
Oh, there's still a little bit more Ishtar.
Go ahead.
Ishtar, a Semitic goddess worshipped in Phoenicia, Canaan,
Uh-huh.
Syria, and Babylon.
Okay, so my point was we don't even worship Christ. He's our king and a worthy king. And now the number one commandment from the Most High is to have no gods before me. Yet this is a goddess right here. This is a god, a female god, a goddess. And she was worshipped in Phoenicia, Babylon. Go up a little, read all them places that she was worshipped. Keep reading, slide.
Oh, come. A Semitic goddess worshipped in Phoenicia,
Go ahead.
Canaan, Assyria,
Mhm.
and Babylon.
And Babylon. All these heathen places, they worship this goddess. Go ahead.
Come.
And of course, a lot of Israelites scattered throughout the world gets down with these heathens, man, and worship these false gods. Go ahead.
Come. Her name is spelled in various ways. Ashtaroth, Astatu, in the Armani letters, Ishtar in Babylonia. The name and cult of the goddess were derived from Babylonia, where she was the goddess of love and war.
The goddess of love and war. It had different names, different pronunciations. Ashtoreth, Aristar, and Ishtar is one of them. Easter, you understand, different names, but the same God, the goddess of love and war. Read, I think, let me see.
The chief set of her worship in Babylonia was Erect, where prostitution was practiced in her name by bands of men and women.
You say that. Prostitution. She's the goddess of love and war. And love don't mean I'm going to love you and protect you. Love ain't the love of the Most High. The love is let's strip naked, get high and drunk, and have sex with everything. Man on man, woman on man, let's switch. You know what I mean? Orgies. That's what she's the goddess of. She's the goddess of nasty, disgusting, fun sex. Get high, drunken sex. You understand? That's what she's the goddess of. That's what the egg and the rabbit comes in. They mean there's fertility. She's the goddess of fertility. Also is one of her titles. And so that's where Easter comes from. This goddess Ishtar and all her, she's the fertility goddess. That's what the eggs represent, birth and, fertility. That's what the rabbits have a lot of babies. You understand? Because some people, they ain't even put together yet. You ask certain Christians, do rabbits lay eggs? And they say, hold on. They never thought about that. Doing Easter egg hunts all their goddamn life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Chocolate bunnies, chocolate eggs on grass, fake grass in a basket, and getting dressed up for Easter. They do all these things, but never question why, where it comes from, doesn't even make sense. The church say to do it, pastors say to do it, let's do it. And this is where our people fall short. You understand? So none of these, once again, she's the goddess of fertility. That's where the rabbit and the egg come from. And our people don't even question it. And so now let me read this here. Somebody holding Leviticus 23:6. It says them same Protestants that I talked about earlier, they celebrate something called Easter tide. Easter is the beginning of Easter tide or the Easter season. The Easter tide ends in the 50th day after Easter, which is known as Pentecost Sunday. You understand? Pentecost is 50. That word means 50. Where do they get this 50 from? I'm gonna show you this. They know this. They know Pentecost is a real thing because it's in the Bible. You understand? But they change it and call it Easter tide. But read what it really is. Read Leviticus 23:6.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread,
which we celebrated a week ago, Sunday, right? We began the feast of unleavened bread. Go ahead.
Unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
Go ahead.
In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation.
That first day is a Sabbath. Go ahead. It's holy.
Ye shall do no more, ye shall do no servile work.
Go ahead. Go.
But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days.
Go ahead. You're gonna read to the end of 8.
In the seventh day is an holy convocation.
The 7th day is also a Sabbath. It's a holy convocation. That was last night. Y'all ended the Sabbath last night. Then you could eat bread with leaven in it. Last night ended that 7th day. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9.
Now jump to 15. So we know the first day is a Sabbath, the 7th day is a Sabbath. Ended last night. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
So now it says, ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath. What Sabbath is this talking about? From the morrow after the Sabbath. Say your name. What's your Hebrew name, huh? Okaryala. Go ahead.
The high holy day.
Which one?
The feast of unleavened bread.
Which one?
First day.
7th day.
7th day.
This one is talking about the 7th day. And you going into the 7th day should be a holy convocation. And then it says, and ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, meaning tomorrow, the day after the Sabbath, yesterday before sundown, it was the Sabbath. Now, the morrow will be once the sun goes down, it's another day. That's where we at right now. When the sun went down last night, we in there right now. That's what the morrow after the Sabbath is yesterday when the sun went down. Go ahead.
From the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Sabbaths.
So that's what the Lord told us to do during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Wave the sheaf offerings. It said after that, you count 7 Sabbaths. Go ahead. Shall what?
7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
How many days is that? 7 Sabbaths. So I gotta let the brother try. Go ahead.
7 days, 7 nights.
Okay, a Sabbath is a week. It's basically saying a week. Now you're supposed to count 7 Sabbaths. How many days is that? You mathematicians at. Go ahead, huh? A car?
49.
49. So a week is 7 days. Count 7 Sabbaths. That's 7 times 7, 49 days. So now we in 49 days after the Sabbath, the 7th day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Go ahead.
Verse 16, even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days.
So beginning yesterday sundown, began that morrow after the Sabbath again, after the 7th, I'm slacking, not the 7th Sabbath, but after the Sabbath, that's when you start to count those 49 days, starting yesterday sundown. So 49 days after, and it's about to end now, but 49 days, in other words, yesterday sundown began Pentecost. It began those 50 days, the 49 days plus tomorrow after the 7th Sabbath. So the day after the 49 days will be how many days? Same, brother. Good. 50. It will be the 50 is where they get the word penta. Penta Latin for 5 or 50. You know what I'm saying? Pentecost is the 50 days. So tomorrow after that 7th Sabbath, ye shall number. Go ahead. No sweat. And the 16.
And ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord.
No sweat. So of course, before Yahushua, we was offering all type of meat offerings and sacrifices of our animals. But after Yahushua, he is now the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Our spirit is the sacrifice. Following him is the sacrifice now. So that's why I brought that out to show they even created a holiday with those 50 days called Eastertide. You know what I'm saying? The Christian church. They say it's Eastertide or Easter season. And it ends on the 50th day after Easter when our laws, that's the first fruits. That's the 50th day Pentecost, which we call first fruits. And I'm going to read on. I got this from history. In Eastern Orthodox branches of Christianity, Easter Sunday serves as the start of the season of Paschal, which Yediah wrote in the Bible dictionary, Greek for Passover, which ends 40 days later with a holiday known as the Feast of Ascension. I don't even know what that is. You understand? 6th century Easter. It say again, and like Yediah brought out, like we brought out earlier, it says Easter comes from Estre. They call it Estriar, the Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring and fertility. It says Ishtar was an ancient Mesopotamian goddess of war, fertility, and sex. She's featured in the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Ishtar Gate. Was part of Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. Her worship involved animal sacrifices, objects made of her, sacred stone. She had a sacred stone called lapis lazuli. So she was a god, which we worship, and a lot of Israelites worshiped her too. A popular meme has been circulating on the internet that for this they superimpose. They making fun of it. That ain't important. Ishtar, pronounced Easter, was originally the celebration of Ishtar, the Assyrian and Babylonian goddess, which we covered, fertility and sex. Her symbols, like the egg and the bunny, were and still are fertility and sex symbols. After Constantine decided to Christianize the empire, Easter was changed to represent Jesus, of course. But as its roots, Easter is all about celebrating fertility and sex. You understand? So that's what Easter is. You understand? I just want to cover it real quick. Any questions on Easter? And again, we learn these things, but never question them because we've been slaves for so long, and our slave masters like our daddy now. Go ahead, up.
So like I said, I noticed this weekend, especially Sunday, it was like for a lot of our brothers and sisters in the world, they were celebrating Easter and Ramadan. Like they couldn't shake the Easter spirit, even though they wanted to celebrate Ramadan. So I'm like, it was real weird. So
Yeah,
I noticed this week. So.
Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hell, I know Muslims celebrate Christmas, man. They celebrate Christmas. I know Muslims eat pork. You know what I'm saying? Muslims, Islam ain't nothing but Christianity. especially once they over here in America. Ain't nothing but Christianity. They try to please America. They got American flags all up in their little shit. Even the Arabs on 52nd Street, who's ever left, you'll find American flags and books about Easter and Christmas in them shops. You understand? Because they got to show love for America, so they got to bend. You understand? Where the truth don't bend. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get in there with the time left 8:03. I'm gonna get in the sacrifice. You understand? Once again, like you died about out earlier, like you all know, we just finished going through the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which we could have no bread, and that is a hell of a sacrifice. How many of you went through it a little bit? Is this your first time in it? Is your first time? You went through it a little bit, or? It was 2 hours, most times, right? You know what I'm saying? Just because of our habit, the flesh got habits. Listen, confession good for the soul. I done been in the truth for a while. I was 1 year, and this is after I was a general. You understand? We at the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, my son wanted cake after the sun went down. Once we was done, my rib made a cake. You understand? She asked me, she said, "Can I make the cake, before sundown?" I said, "Let me see." I said, "Well," I said, "you can make it. Go ahead and make it." And just, we know shit. I'm not, my yacht. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is. My family know what it is. So she made it. It's sitting in the kitchen. Y'all said, "Man, Dad, I want a piece of this cake. Is it sundown?" I said, "We got about 30 minutes, son. Come on, this ain't nothing." He said, "All right." So I went about my business. I got a drink. I forgot I did something. I went in the kitchen and I looked at the cake. I said, "Man, I hope she ain't overdo it." Because she put a little greedy. She put her own special things in. I said, "I hope she ain't overdo it, man." I cut a little slither, right? And ate the damn thing, right? Brain ain't even recognized it. I ate the thing, Dayala. And I said, "Hey, babe, the nutmeg tastes a little strong in this." I said, "Oh my God." She said, "What?" I said, "I just ate the goddamn cake." Piece of cake. I looked at the clock. God damn, 10 minutes ago, Dayala. You know what I mean? I was pissed off at myself. I said, "I'm telling my y'all, what the hell is wrong with me, man?" You know what I'm saying? But it's just the flesh and the habits. And that's why the Lord said, get it out the house. Because you done made something and forgotten, threw some baking soda in it, and you know what I'm saying? And I said, the Most High wiser than me. I know that, you know what I'm saying? And repented. So I know it can happen. But like you died about out earlier, all across the earth, man, the UK, Puerto Rico, everywhere, man, Trinidad, the ISUPK was not eating leaven, you know what I'm saying? And we was eating unleavened bread every day, like the Lord said. That's a sacrifice, you understand? Look up the definition of sacrifice. I got it right here, but somebody get it also, what you got. I have here an act of giving up something valued for the sake of something else regarded as more important or worthy. You understand? Like we give up the bread, which we love. Israel, that's one of our things, bread. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said have the show bread during the Sabbath service, because bread causes an aroma that's good to the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that show bread was for, and only for the priest to eat. So we sacrifice those things to do what? What's the thing that's more important that we get in return on sacrificing what we want and what we used to? Is win in favor with the Most High. You understand? Win in favor with the Most High, that's everything. What you got, somebody got the definition of sacrifice? Go ahead.
The sacrifice, but it's talking about like the biblical.
Yeah, they go into that. You probably got to read two definitions down or 3 definitions down. I had to do the same thing. You got something? Go ahead. What's your Hebrew name? Quatazar. Go ahead.
Sacrifice, an act of slaughtering an animal.
Yeah, that's the biblical one. You probably got to go down a couple definitions. They probably give you more than one. Go ahead, Bakar.
So it says the surrender of destruction of something prized or desirable for the sake of something considered as having a higher or more pressing claim. Another one says the thing so surrendered or devoted.
Right. So in other words, value. And something that you give up, something that's valuable to you, like bread. Shit, we want a sandwich, we want cake, we want all them things got leavening in it. You know what I'm saying? They putting leavening in all the chicken now. You black people love their chicken, the fried chicken. Go ahead, Mighty Man. You gonna say something?
Okay, I was just gonna say another definition.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
An act of offering to a deity.
Yeah, it's the
You
same.
see something fresh.
And listen, that's a sacrifice in itself. Because if you gotta your business is cows or you know or mighty beasts, you understand the Most High want your best one. He want that one that get you all the money. Like you done raised them up and fed him. You know what I'm saying? You got two. This your champion. This one come in second as your champion. And you like, oh man, these my money makers here. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord want that. The Lord want that one, your best one. And it's a sacrifice. It's like money today. You understand? You're giving up something valuable for something more valuable, which is the protection and the grace of the Most High. You want His favor. You gonna say something? No sweat. So those are correct. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they call it a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Because you're sacrificing something that's very valuable to you. You understand? And the Lord knows it's valuable. That's why He wants the best one, unblemished. You know what I mean? The first one out the womb. You know what I'm saying? He want that. He want that best one. And so I'm gonna give you some examples on why we sacrifice. You understand? First and foremost, we sacrifice because our King gave the ultimate sacrifice. You understand that, right? He gave the ultimate. Give me Hebrews 5:5. And then somebody hold Matthew 26:48. When you get Hebrews 5:5, you can read it. Our King sacrificed a whole lot during his walk.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 5. So also Christ glorified not himself to be made an high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son.
Meaning Yahweh, our King, he didn't say, you know what, I'm going to make myself a high priest. He didn't do that. But he that said unto him what?
But he that said unto him, Thou art my son.
Mm-hmm.
Today have I begotten thee.
So Christ didn't make himself high priest. The Most High did. He that said, Thou art my son. Today I have begotten thee. He the one made Christ the high priest. You want to read?
Verse 6. As he said also in another place, Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Right. The Most High made Yahweh a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Go ahead.
Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered.
And that goes into the beginning when he read in the beginning of the 5th verse, he didn't glorify himself. That's what these are examples. He didn't glorify himself. The Most High glorified him. Read that again. 7.
Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears.
With strong crying and tears. Who's familiar with what that's talking about? Go ahead. What is it talking about? Connie, what happened?
He's praying to the Father what he's about to go through.
And what did he ask the Father?
To let the cup pass.
What did that mean?
To take, I guess, the burden that what he's about to go through if he cannot do it, I guess.
There you go. Christ did not want to die. His flesh felt what you would feel when you know you're about to be murdered. If you know your murderers is in there plotting to hang you and stab you and kill you and murder you, you imagine all the shit your stomach will go through? Your stomach in itself. He cried. Our King cried, man, because he didn't want to die. And so he prayed to the Most High, if there's another way, Father, if I ain't got to go through this, please, Baba Kashaw. If I ain't got to be murdered and humiliated by these people, man, if I ain't got to do that, if there's another way, give it to me. You know what I mean? Let this cup pass for me. And then came back and said, but let your will be done, Father. You know what I'm saying? If it got to be done, it got to be done. And it had to be done. It had to be done. But our King cried, man. He didn't want to die. His body was going through it. That's why in the days of his flesh, it said, when he had offered up prayers and supplications, begging the Most High with strong crying and tears, man. This is what they did to our King. This is what he had to go through. You know what I'm saying? He had to commit the ultimate sacrifice. Read on. Unto him, go ahead.
Unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared.
And that he feared, man. He was in the flesh too, but sacrifice. We got Matthew 26:48. It's showing you the sacrifices that our King had to give, man. For what? What was his valuable thing that he was doing all this for? Who could tell me? Who can tell me? What did Christ go through all this? You know, what did he? His life was valuable, but he gave it up. He gave it up for something that he deemed more valuable. I think your hand was up first, Bakar.
Israel, sir?
What you was gonna say, mighty man? What's your Hebrew name? Mathumia. What you was gonna say?
So that we could be here today.
God, basically same thing. He valued our life. He valued the life of his brothers and sisters, man. And he wanted us to live, and he didn't want the Lord to choose another people. He didn't want the Lord to get rid of Israel. So he sacrificed his life, you know what I'm saying, so the Lord could give us another shot because of the disgusting things that we were doing, of course, worshiping Ishtar and every other god out there. Read, mighty man.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 48. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast.
So the police didn't know what Christ looked like. The authorities didn't know what he looked like. They didn't know who. All niggas look alike to the Romans, right? You understand? But one of his own men said, listen, y'all gonna know him because I'm gonna kiss him. The one I kiss, that's him. Take him. You understand? Read.
Verse 49. And forthwith he came to Yahushua.
And again, this is Judas, the betrayer. Go ahead.
And said, hail, master, and kissed him.
So he saluted Yahushua. Shalom, master, and kissed him. Go ahead.
Verse 50. And Yahushua said unto him, friend, wherefore art thou come?
Mm-hmm.
Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him.
Con, and he told Judas, he called him friend. He said, hey, friend, brother, hey, brother, where you coming from? And then all of, they came out to take him. Read.
Verse 51. And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest.
And Peter, cold killer, Peter the disciple, he pulled out his sword, man, and struck a servant and hit that sword to the servant of the high priest, one of his men. Bop, go ahead.
And smote on his ear.
And cut his ear off. Cut his ear off. That's the precision that Peter had. He swung that sword and hit a man's ear. He could have cut his whole face and neck and head off, but he was so precise. He hit the ear. Boop. Go ahead.
Verse 52. Then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
So Yahushua understood that it wasn't a time for them to fight against the authorities. It wasn't that time. So he told Peter, he said, Peter, chill, put your sword up. Go ahead.
Verse 53. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Christ said, don't you know, man? All I got to do is pray to the Most High, man. And he'll send me a legion, 12 legions. 12 legions of angels, man, and come and destroy everybody there. Everybody there that was against Christ, Christ could have just said the word. And the Most High would have destroyed them all. But it wouldn't have saved Israel. It wouldn't have saved Israel. It wasn't a time for that. But that's what he could have did. Christ sacrificed that power. He sacrificed that authority that he had. Go ahead.
Verse 54. But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be?
Correct, but then it wouldn't have been fulfilled. Like Isaiah said, he's going to suffer for our infirmities. He's going to suffer to raise up Israel. You understand? He had to die on that cross like he did for the most, to be a worthy enough sacrifice for the Lord to take us back. You understand? That's a hell of a sacrifice. Luke 4 and 5. Luke 4 and 5.
Book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 5. And the devil taking him up into the high mountain,
Okay.
shewed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
So right now we in Satan's kingdom, man, and this has been Satan's kingdom for a long time. Even when Christ walked the earth and the Romans were in charge, it was Satan's kingdom. And Satan took Christ and showed him all the riches and the power and everything that he was in charge of, the gold, the jewelry, the money, the power, the authority. Satan showed it to Christ. Go ahead.
And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee.
And Satan said, Christ, you ain't got to go through all that, having them disrespect you, stabbed in the head with a crown of thorns, punched in the face, blindfolded, have your clothes ripped off you naked, stabbed in the side, nailed to a cross. You ain't got to go through the humiliation and all that. I'll give you power now, and you ain't got to do none of that. I know you walking to get glory and power, from the Father, but you ain't got to go through all that. I'll give you power now. Look at everything I got. Read.
And the glory of power will I give thee, and the glory of them.
Right. I'll give you power to control all this that I got, and all the glory in them, the women, the riches, anything you want. Go ahead.
For that is delivered unto me.
And this is what we got to remember. All that power that Satan had, somebody gave him that power. Somebody gave him that power. Who gave him that power? Young brothers? I know y'all know. Go ahead. Anybody? Most High. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So somebody gave the earth to the wicked, which means what? What's the good news? If we go ahead, mighty man.
That the kingdom that comes will be righteous after that.
Not quite. Go ahead. Because what you was gonna say? No sweat. If the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and Satan was given all his glory and power to be in charge of it, what does that mean? What's the good news that comes from that, mighty man? Not this instant. Go ahead, because.
Does it mean that they're on the Lord's work?
No, it means it can be taken from them. You know what I mean? They ain't got it and just got it because they so strong. The Most High gave it to them. And y'all all know why, because of what we did. So the Most High gave this power and this authority to our enemies. The good news is, if we do right, the Most High take it back. That's what we're here for. That's what we're on them streets for. That's what we do this work for in the ISUPK, to please the Most High so he can take it back. And he promised to take it back and give it to Christ. And Christ sharing it with us. So that's the good news, you understand. So Satan offered him all this power before his time. So you can get all this now. Yahweh Shai, you ain't got to go through that. I'll give it to you now because I'm in charge of it. The Most High gave it to me. Read.
And to whomsoever.
And that's why Christ said, this kingdom is not, this is not my kingdom. Because if it was my kingdom, then would my servants fight? Because he understood the Most High gave this to Satan for now. Go ahead. Read again.
And to whomsoever I give it.
And whoever I want to give it to, I give it to him. Satan chose Esau. Esau is his physical counterpart on this earth, obeying him. You understand? He got the power to give it to whoever he wants to. And he offered it to Christ right here. Read.
If thou therefore wilt worship me.
That's all Christ had to do, is worship Satan instead of the Most High. Let Satan be the boss. Like the mafia try to hire you. You know what I'm saying? You come work for me, man. You have anything you want, you come work for me. Leave that dude over there, come work for me. You understand? Read.
All shall be mine.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus
all
answered,
shall be thine. Go.
All shall be thine.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan.
Christ said, hell no. Hell no. I don't need your riches right now. I ain't in no rush. You know what I'm saying? Because your riches is temporary. He understood that. Your riches, your power, your empire, this is temporary. I'm going to go for mine. I know I got to go through some hard things. I know I got to walk that road, like it says in the Apocrypha, like all of us do. That road with water to drown you on one side and fire to burn you to hell up on the other side. And the path only big enough for one person at a time to go. But we got to pass these dangers to get to that promised city, man. Christ understood that too. He understood he had to go through this fire for the brothers that he loved, for the nation that he loved. You understand? To get that glory. So he wasn't in no rush to get down with Satan. He sacrificed. He sacrificed and went through that hell, man. Read. It said Christ sweated that night he cried and prayed to the Most High. It said his sweat came down like great drops of blood. He sweat so hard and thick, man, going through that. I could imagine what his body was going through. I mean, I done went through things that I know, like all of you probably have, things that might not be death, but your body react to certain things. You understand? For a reason. Like, some nigga about to try to steal you. He'll be back in the day. He about to steal you. Your body getting ready for it. You feel it in the gut. Your body getting ready, tensing up, just to tighten up. So when them blows come and you be ready to throw some back, your body get ready for it. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine I can't imagine, but I understand what our King went through. Read on.
For it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Damn
right. So that was the sacrifice that our King made, man. Luke 22:15. Whoever get it, Luke 22:15. And then somebody heard Luke 9.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 15. And he said unto them, with desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer.
Right. So this is Christ eating his last meal with us, man. It was Passover. He was eating the Passover, the lamb and the bread, the unleavened bread. He was eating with us before he suffered, because he knew it was time, Judas to betray him and him to go on that cross and be murdered. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God.
He said he ain't even going to eat no more of this meat, this lamb, this good lamb that he loved. Y'all know they call Christ a glutton and a wine bibber, right? They say, here goes a man that's a glutton and a wine bibber. A wine bibber is an alcoholic, a drunk. A glutton is somebody just eat until they damn near hurt themselves. The Bible don't say how much you can drink. There's no limit. There's no rule. And it don't say how much to eat. But if you drink to where it makes you sin or hurts your health or do certain things like that, that is a sin. If you eat until it hurts you or have you sin or do something or hurt your health or do something horrible, that's a sin. You understand? So they called him a glutton and a wine bibber because he liked to eat and he liked to drink. But if he can handle that drink, he can handle that drink. You know what I'm saying? And so because he wasn't a wine bibber, just to make that clear, he wasn't a drunk and he wasn't a glutton. He could eat as much as he want. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't hurting nothing. So they called him a glutton and a wine bibber. But here, he eating his Passover with us. He said he ain't going to eat no more of this lamb until what? It be what? Fulfilled?
In the kingdom of God.
Until we there with him. Until we there with him, in other words. He ain't going to eat no more lamb until he eating with us. With y'all. You understand? Read.
Verse 17. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this and divide it among yourselves. Verse 18. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come.
And I'm not going to drink no more wine, which I love, but I ain't going to drink no more until I drink it with you in our Father's kingdom. You understand? That's a hell of a sacrifice. That's how much he loved the nation of Israel. He made the ultimate sacrifice, which was his life. And then he said he ain't even going to enjoy the things that he would like to enjoy until he enjoying it with us. That's sacrifice. You understand? When you not eating that leavened bread and you making sacrifice the Day of Atonement, when you ain't eating or drinking nothing for 24 hours, just remember what our King did, man. Remember all the things he went through, because it's required of us to sacrifice. Once again, he's our sacrifice now. We don't sacrifice animals and different things when we make a mistake or when we fall short. We walk in the footsteps of our King. We walk like him. We represent him. We're his ambassadors. You understand? So we do the things that he would do. That's what Bahashem Yahweh means. In his name. It don't mean just saying his name like the Christians think. It means what he approve of this. That's why I say anything you ask the Father in my name, he'll give it to you. That don't mean, oh God, give me this car in the name of Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh, give me this car. When you say in the name of Christ, it means something that he would approve of. You want something, Lord, let me build this camp by Hashem Yahushua. Let me open this school. Let's go on this school. Let me teach these people and edify with these people and bring them into the truth, Lord, in the name of Christ. You understand? Things that Christ would approve on. Yahushua, we don't really want to ask the Most High, to get you them new Jordans by Hashem Yahushua. You understand? It ain't really nothing Christ give a damn about. You understand? So you want to make sure it's something that he would approve of. Who got Luke 9 and 59, 59 and 60? And somebody get let me see. Yeah, Hebrews 12 and 4. Who got Luke 9 and 59?
It's the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 59.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto another, follow me. But he said,
this when Christ was picking his disciples. He was choosing the disciples, telling them, come get down with me, man. I'm going to be your teacher from now on. Shalom, mighty man. Go ahead.
But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father.
So this brother just lost his father. You understand? He just lost his father. And he said, all right, Lord, I'm down. I'm going to get down with you. I'm going to roll with you. Let me go bury my father first. Go ahead.
Verse 60, Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury their dead.
Christ was cold, man. He said, let the dead bury the dead, brother. Let them people that ain't got what I'm about to give you and got the life that I have and about to fill you with, let them bury your father. That's a hell of a thing to ask a man to sacrifice, right? But for our king, they found out it's worth it. You understand? He's worth it. Let the dead bury the dead. Go ahead.
But go thou and preach the kingdom of God.
And you go raise up this nation. Let your family deal with them. Let his friends and his loved ones deal with him. They'll bury him. He'll get in the ground without you. You come roll with me and raise this kingdom up, man, and raise this nation up. Hebrews 12 and 4, another sacrifice that we are required to do, just like our king sacrifice. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 4. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood.
Read that again.
Ye have not yet resisted unto blood.
What does that mean? Who can tell me what that means? Go ahead, mighty man.
Resisting your flesh.
Not quite. Ye have not resisted unto blood. Because
I would say, do you have sacrifice anything?
not quite. A lot of us sacrificed some things. We gave up badass women, you know what I'm saying? Come in here, and a lot of us sacrificed our whole families. They didn't want to listen. We walked away, served the Most High. You understand? What does resisting unto blood mean? Which the Lord said we haven't done. Mighty man?
We did, was it doing violent things?
Doing what?
Violent things. It was like murder.
Violent thing, meaning we still here. We ain't died like Christ did. You know what I'm saying? We ain't battled unto death. You know what I'm saying? We ain't, on them streets. Our lives are threatened every day. And we still go back out and we still blaze and blaze and blaze. But we ain't been murdered like our king was murdered for this word. Go ahead. Go ahead. Huh? Right, resisting you, but the blood part, resisted unto blood, meaning, what's your point about resisting your flesh?
What I was saying, when it says resisting your flesh, striving against sin, you gotta be like saying,
right, striving against
the law. You're fighting your flesh. You gotta be by not sin, by striving against sin.
For sure, that's what the striving. We ain't get there yet.
Oh,
No sweat. It's striving against sin, but resisting unto blood, meaning the work we doing is really light compared to what our king had to go through. The sacrifices we making is really light compared to what our king went through. You understand? He went through hell. He went through hell so that we can be able to be here and make these sacrifices. You understand? And that's why, the Most High, he proud of Israel because y'all done went through the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It was a good thing, had a ball for the Passover, you know what I'm saying? And, brotherhood, like the guy brought out earlier, like the brother's been bringing out for the last week. Plus, you had blacks and Hispanics, Negroes, niggas and spicks together. You know what I'm saying? Latinos, First Nation, we all up in the same room and ain't nobody get punched in the nose. Nobody can get their ass whooped. You understand? I heard people saying, making posts like, damn, you could actually lose your kids up in here and say, fuck it, I'll get them later. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the safest place on earth. You understand? Wasn't no schisms, wasn't no beefs, you know what I mean? Wasn't no sets, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't battling each other. It was the kingdom of heaven. You understand? A sample of it. A sample of what our kingdom could be. And it was a beautiful thing, man. It was a beautiful thing. Give me Deuteronomy 28:1. You understand? Like Yediah said, that second part, striving against sin, that's striving against, resisting what your flesh want. Resisting what your flesh want and making your spirit stronger. We got to give our flesh everything. You understand? Like Christ's flesh wanted to not die on the cross. You understand? But that had to happen for Israel to be back with the Most High. You understand? And once again, sacrifice them things that's valuable. You sacrifice the things that you like, the fun, the things your flesh love. How many of y'all used to eat them shrimp bowls? You give up them shrimp bowls. Negroes love them hood shrimp bowls. You know what I'm saying? What else? Tuna salads and, you know what I'm saying? We used to suck the ass out of a crab. Suck the dead man, all the ass, just suck it, turn it backward. I done seen bros turn it backwards and get the sucking. I said, oh, what are they sucking? And I'm not even sure what the dead man is, because there's something that looked like mustard in the crab, and then there's some slimy meat type stuff in the crab. I don't know which one is the dead man. I don't know. But they used to talk about that dead man, eating that dead man. You know what I'm saying? And so all them things we used to do back in the day, we give up, man. We give up. Why? To win favor with our God, man. Because we want to be protected in this hell. It's dangerous out here. Today, truth be told, I went to my neighborhood looking for 2 thieves, armed. You understand? Because these niggas is terrorizing my block. You know what I'm saying? These 2 old Jake is robbing everybody, taking their packages and checking all the cars, and you know what I mean, and you get them on video, but they start so early. Hey, my rib having to get up and look out the window, 5 a.m. She see our neighbor across the street, see some young boy all up in his shit, you know what I'm saying? And so she let him know later, you know what I mean? It's just hell out here. And these, they hit me about 3 times. He died on my porch. They go on your porch, man. Reach right up on your zone and take whatever's there. I'll be pissed off at the delivery cats, man. Put my shit way up on the porch, man. You know what I mean? And of course, I ain't the only one. You got the other neighbors, you know what I'm saying? And so the cat door caught him today. One of my neighbors said, hey, man, that's my neighbor. Put it back. He said, you lucky he ain't home, because it'd be hell if he was. You lucky he ain't home. And the cat put the package back. You know what I mean? He got the shit on video, but it ain't, videos don't be absolutely clear. But it was a good enough. It was a good enough video with his clothes and the side of his face. I went looking for him. I wanted to talk to the man. You know what I'm saying? Give him an offer he couldn't refuse. You know what I'm saying? And did not find him. I took a picture of about 3 cats. I pulled right over, said, snap. Like, what the? I sent it to my rib and said, is this him? She said, no. I said, goddamn, sorry, brother. You know what I'm saying? Go to the next guy. Because them red hoodies was out there today, and he had a red hood. You know what I'm saying? But different kind of pants, and I just ain't sure. You know what I mean? And I wanted somebody. I think my carnality was trying to take over. You know what I mean? But the Lord, gave him grace. But we sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, the things that our flesh want, to please the Most High and to be down with the Most High. And read Deuteronomy 28:1 is a good example of it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments. To observe and to do all of his commandments. Now, his commandments, when you learn them, some of them are going to go against what you're used to. I know a lot of brothers and sisters brokenhearted when they found out tuna ain't have scales. Niggas grow up on tuna fish. You know what I'm saying? We grow up on tuna fish. You know what I mean? What else? What else did, of course, cats and then the weed. Hell, you know what I mean? You got to give up that weed. Oh, man, I thought it was from the earth. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a weed up. You got to get a cigarettes up. Can't run with your cousins no more with them nasty girls. You can't do that no more. There's a lot of things you got to give up. That was absolutely fun and enjoyable in the world. But you give it up. Why?
because it's time to raise up a nation, man. This place about to be destroyed. This place about to go away, and you don't want to be up under no whore when the sky get dark. You understand? You don't want to be up under no holes when the sky get dark. If you a sister, you don't want to be getting trains rammed on you high as hell when Christ come out that sky. You understand? That ain't what you want. You want to observe and to do all of his commandments. Go ahead. Yes, keep reading.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
Set thee on high. That's the valuable thing that you sacrifice it for. You sacrificing your flesh, your lust, the things you grew up, the habits you grew up with, the things that you grew up loving. You're getting rid of a lot of that. Why? So that the Most High could put you on high. Read.
Will set thee on high above all nations on the earth.
Above all nations of the earth. That's what we do this for. I want to be above our slave master, man. I want him to look at me and look, grovel and look at my knees and beg me for days off and beg me for vacations. He better not look me in the eye. I'm gonna smack the holy shit out of him. I'm gonna beat his whole family. His whole family gonna get a beating if he look me in my eye. Hell, they had a thing called the laugh barrel. I know, Aria, you heard about your ancestors, your grandparents and them, right? Had whole laugh barrels. Muhammad used to tell me. One of his grandmothers or great aunts or something used to tell him how walking down the street, they had to laugh. If white people was around, they had to put their face in the laugh barrel and laugh because master can't see your teeth. He can't see your teeth or you could lose them teeth. You know what I'm saying? Lose your life. That's how they treated us. I want the same goddamn respect. Don't smile in my face, oppressor. Don't smile in my face, heathen, or you'll be in danger and your whole family in danger. You understand? The Most High is going to put us on high above all the nations of the earth. That's the valuable thing. Give me that scripture, Akim. I didn't write it down. The one, what value is it being a Jew? I think Romans, maybe? Come, read that.
Come, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 3, and verse 1. What advantage?
And the one I think is Genesis. I'll be an adversary to your adversaries. Just look that up on your Bible concordance. Adversary, adversaries, enemy, enemies. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage did have the Jew?
Like, what's the advantage of being a Jew? What's the advantage of giving up all that? Well, why should I come in the truth and give up my life and give up all the things that I'm used to, man, getting this money and doing this and that and being an Israelite? Go ahead.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Which is the same thing, being an Israelite.
Verse 2. Much every way.
There's a whole lot of advantages. Go ahead.
Chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
All the laws, statutes, commandments, the blessings, the power, the gold, the glory, partaking in our King's glory. Yahushua, he's going to rule the earth. Every knee going to bow to him. Every kingdom going to submit to him. He's going to be in charge of everything on the earth. Wouldn't it be wonderful to work for him? To have him be your big brother? Shoot, to be one of them 12 under him? That's power beyond power, man. Now, if you don't make the 12, just let me be one of the 144,000. And you still got it going on. You still got it going on. What if you don't make them? It's going to be millions of Israelites coming to the kingdom. Even if you're one of them, it's going to be the greatest thing on the planet.
Right.
It's going to be just so wonderful and so great and so free. You're going to finally know what it is to live and know what freedom is. We really don't know freedom. You know what I mean? We in the truth and the Lord is protecting us and we know a good side of what it can be, but we ain't really lived free yet. We still in America. Freedom, what's some of the things that you get if we was really free? What's some white people, rich white people? Some of them fly helicopter to helicopter. They don't even have to walk amongst us. They go to building to building, meeting to meeting in helicopters. They don't even got to walk against the common man. Not even their own people. They don't even see their common white people. They so rich and eat so good. You know what I'm saying? Whoever had a Snickers bar, raise their hand. A Snickers bar, Kit Kat, M&M, We was raised on that stuff, right? There are Edomites that wonder who would ever eat any of that. They so rich. And I saw them, and they were saying, who would ever eat any of that poison? That's what they say, because they so rich, and they can't even think of eating that low dirt food. That's dirt food to them. You know what I'm saying? We raised on it. We raised on it. You understand? To live like that and be free like that, I want it. I want it. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear about how our Hamites in the kingdom over somewhere is eating the nails off the chicken feet. Having chicken nail soup. Yeah, I mean, chicken nail soup and be like, ugh, they eating that over there? No, get them the whole foot, man. Us Israel being so merciful, we might tell them, listen, get them the whole foot. God damn, you just giving them nails? Let them eat some of the toes, man. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna know what it is to eat the best of things, freshly killed 2 hours ago, seasoned to perfection. And the Lord say mingled with flour and oil, that's fried meat, brothers. You know what I mean? That's fried food, which Israel's famous for. You understand? We're going to eat the best of things, drink the best of wine. We're going to laugh. It's going to be a laughter that you ain't even laughed yet. The laughter of freedom, like the scripture in Psalms say, we're going to wake up out of our bed singing songs. I think about that and say, oh my God, what that's going to feel like. To wake up an actual free man with power and authority. And you wake up and just think about where we come from. You think about here and just laugh and sing and pray to the Lord. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? The water. What we looking like upstairs? Slack. What we looking like upstairs?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. No, so let me know. I know we about 15 minutes for it. So those, you know what I mean, those things, you know, is what we do all this for. Is what we sacrifice everything for. You know what I mean? Give me that. You got the scripture, I think is in Genesis. Enemy to the enemy. Go ahead, mighty man.
I think it's Exodus.
Exodus, go ahead.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 22.
Yes,
And thou shalt indeed obey his voice.
There you go. Obey his voice. And it's going to take sacrifice because we ain't used to obeying his voice. I remember in the world, man, I had this chick. Oh, she was fine. And she would come over my apartment and put on Christian videos, sermons and things. And I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm watching them. I'm like, when can I get the shirt up? Can I pull your shirt up, at least? And we do little things, but she wanted me to be Christian before she gave me what I wanted. You understand? And when we got close there, y'all, and she took me right there on the edge. You gonna submit to the Lord Jesus and Savior? And oh my God. All right. I tried to read the Bible, babe. I tried yesterday. You said read this. I started in Genesis 1:1. And God made heaven and earth. And I went to sleep. God damn it. I can't get past the first 3 verses. Go ahead. Oh my God. I could not get past him creating the heaven and earth. It was ridiculous. It was like a spirit of sleep come on you. You know what I mean? And I used to try, but lo and behold, found the truth, really understood what these things meant. And I went back to a few of them sisters, man. I was still around in my circle, and I went to them and tried to show them, and it was like I was a demon. They was like, why would you show me that? I said, I'm just trying to show you. Remember, you told me to read the Bible. I'm reading it now. We sitting in here. That's a Christmas tree right there in your aunt's living room. Stop before they hear you. They're going to hear you. But I'm showing you Christmas. Jeremiah, look. No, we serve 2 different gods. I said, oh, my God. I got to get down. I rolled out. You know what I mean? Christians don't want to hear it. If it ain't what they've been taught and what they learned, they just don't want to hear it. You understand? Read it again in Exodus.
But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies.
That's the value. You're giving up these valuable things that your flesh love, that you enjoy. You're giving it up for this valuable thing. You want the Most High to be an enemy to your enemy. You understand? Read it one more time.
But if thou shalt indeed
He's
obey
upstairs.
his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thy enemies.
That's a valuable thing in America because the police could kill us for nothing. for nothing. He could pull us over because we sat at a stop sign too long. He could pull us over, get out, have an attitude. What's your problem, boy? Well, officer, why are you talking to me like that? Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Stop resisting. Knock you in the jaw. You ain't done a goddamn thing. You trying to get home 2 blocks away. You understand? You lose your life if they decide that this is the night I'm going to kill this guy. You understand? And you ain't got to do nothing wrong. We in hell. You understand? So we need for the Most High to become an enemy to our enemies and defend us. Go ahead.
And an adversary unto thy adversaries.
And we need for the Most High to send angels to protect us and be an adversary to all of our adversaries. Because no matter how tough you think you are, no matter how strong you think you are, how gangster you think you are, these streets is ran by Satan. And Satan, you ain't got no win over him unless you with the Lord. You understand? These streets is dangerous. These streets can take out the strongest. You understand? So what you want to be strong in the Most High. You don't want to be strong in your guns. You don't want to be strong in your ability to fight. You want to be strong in the Most High. You understand? You want to sacrifice whatever he say to sacrifice. Have no gods before me. Give up these holidays, because all of these holidays are worshiping false gods. Give them up. Give them up and win favor with the Most High. That's the only way we're going to survive. That's the only way we're going to survive. So due to the time, I'm going to cut that there. Turn the class over to Priest Officer Daniela. For water, y'all, for coming to the class.